the seedings. You can imagine that there will be some very creative points here with Matilda Ekholm behind the table here and there. Again, she's got a very powerful backhand loop, very spinny shots from both sides. Her forehand hooks and goes every direction. Plays a lot of high-risk shots. On the other hand, Georgina Pota very safe in her play. Right near the table, quick off the bounce. Opening spin shot from Matilda Ekholm. Just a little bit of a misconnection there. Mima Ito not timing it right. Timing is very tricky when you're playing two different players. Now, in this lineup, it's going to be Kasumi Ishikawa who deals with Matilda Ekholm's shot, which means Ito is receiving Pota's shot every time. Again, Pota quick off the bounce and the timing. Excellent at creating angles. For both of these pairings, this will be crucial to help them in the race to Kazakhstan. Over the table, the forehand flip of Mima Ito. Very strong. She showed it yesterday in her singles matches. It's also quite impressive considering she's the smallest player on court. There's that spinny backhand, a bit of side spin on it too, makes the ball kick up right into the chest of Kasumi Ishikawa. So score tied up at 2 points each now. Oh, beautiful backhand punch. Mima Ito with the short pips, plays the angle quick off the bounce. Not a bad combination from the European pair at the bottom of the screen, but still much better from Mima Ito and Kasumi Ishikawa. I guess one shot better, I should say. Good read, serve drifts a little bit too long. Mima Ito apologizing for that serve coming out. Kasumi Ishikawa quickly reminding herself to stay forward, keep her weight on top of the ball because of the extra rotation. Matilda Ekholm does have a much longer stroke on that forehand than many players. Signaling the serve to Georgina Pota. Once again, that long stroke forehand. Push comes long, gets the opportunity. Now, if you're a little bit newer to table tennis, in doubles you will see signaling before the serve so that your teammate knows what you're serving, has a better understanding of what's likely to come back for their third ball. You'll even see it on the receive, like Kasumi Ishikawa just did. Here's my plan for what I'm going to receive. So get ready for your opportunity to attack, to flip, whatever it may be. It's the Chinese rubber on the forehand of Kasumi Ishikawa, Hurricane 3. Much like Hina Hayata, actually. A few of the Japanese women players have decided to try Chinese rubber on the forehand. A little bit tackier, a little bit heavier. For me, the shot was when Matilda Ekholm kept it short. Unbelievable touch to deter the attack. And Pota there with the spinny backhand. This should be a very tight match, assuming Matilda Ekholm and Georgina Pota keep up their play. Interesting setup right here. We've got the left-handed player on the other side of the right-handed server. And it works out. And that's really unconventional. The advantage of having a right-handed and left-handed player together in doubles is that they can share the middle of the table and cover it with their forehand. A lot more opportunities for powerful forehand shots. But they're setting up almost the opposite here. And it forces the backhand play. Kasumi deep to the backhand corner. Ekholm not able to get that forehand in. Now Ekholm does have a very strong backhand as well, but it's tough when the ball comes in that quickly. Doesn't have time to set up, get the wrist back, really control the point, or the shot for that matter. A little bit more of a reactionary shot. Excellent recovery off the top of the net from Pota. Flip from Ekholm as well. By world rankings, the Japanese pairing is definitely the stronger team as individuals. Doubles, everything changes a bit. It's how you work together as a team. Well-placed serve, Mima Ito keeping it just inside the table. Matilda Ekholm a little bit unhappy about the fact that she wasn't able to close the racket, come over the table. It's a difficult ball right near that back edge. We saw Harimoto in T2 cut his hand open on the back edge of the table, trying for a similar shot. Now, service is one thing I forgot to mention, but Madi's serves, Matilda Ekholm's serves, are very tricky. She's got all sorts of subtle wrist action, kicking serves, inside out. Some of the best serves in the women's game. And now 4 game points for the European pairing on the receive. Mima Ito there left in deep thought as she scratches away. It's a tough ball right in front of the body, getting the racket head up, catching the middle. Heavy topspin once again. Game 1 goes to the European pair of Georgina Pota and Matilda Ekholm. Will be back for game 2 in this best of 5 women's doubles final right after this. As the players come back for game 2, it's the Japanese pair trailing 0-1 behind the European pairing of Matilda Ekholm and Georgina Pota. Kasumi Ishikawa on the left and Mima Ito on the right, clearing the table. Their coach Mika Baba is the women's national team coach, 7-time national champion. For the Europeans, they have Zoltan Batorfi, who played for Hungary, is now coaching as well. Played the '96 Olympics, lived in Spain for 14 years, playing in the Spanish league and also coaching toward the end of that. A lot of experience. Zoltan Batorfi's brother, very strong in the high toss serve game, one of the strong European players of his era. The service, Matilda Ekholm, even when it looks simple, even if it looks like straight backspin, and it might be, the question is how much? Placement low to the net, half long, not leaving an opening attack, not a full swing for Mima Ito. First 2 points split. So now the order of play has changed, as it will in every game, and if this goes to a 5th game, when they reach, one team reaches 5 points rather, they will switch sides of the table and they'll also switch order of play. Excellent touch from Kasumi Ishikawa. Leaves Matilda Ekholm hesitating at the back edge, looking for the attack. She's waiting. Ooh, has to go for the push. It's very tough to control with that last moment change. The Pota racket. Bright yellow sponge. And heavy spin as well. We don't see too often Kasumi Ishikawa getting a full swing. A serve that comes off the table and not making the opening attack. Excellent play. Ito gets in over the table, starts the full swing, realizes the ball's high enough that she can get away with the swing, taking the ball while it's over the table. Right at the back edge, this is what you have to do. Catch it early. Once the ball's dropped, more time for the opponent. Lower shot. Wouldn't be surprised to see a high toss serve here from Ishikawa. Clever idea, the Chiquita, as they say in Japan, that banana flip. Sort of crazy to think that between Mima Ito and Kasumi Ishikawa, there's an 8-year difference. Mima Ito's 2/3 the age of Kasumi Ishikawa at 16 years old. Yet it feels like they're sisters in many ways because they're teammates. So they're on the same level, very similar level of play. But in terms of experience, seniority, and all that, Kasumi Ishikawa has a lot more experience at a world-class level. That will pay off for the mental game, for tactics. Very aggressive shot here. This one drifts a little bit long. Mima Ito, no problem from around the back edge of the table. Right at the corner, doesn't even have to come around. Just outside the line. So far, this order of play is working out quite favorably for the Japanese pair. Ito serving to Pota. Now in the pushing game, this is true for anybody. Choppers, attackers, if you can push long, sometimes with very little rotation, you're going to get reactions just like that. Someone lifting too much, overcompensating for spin that isn't there. Excellent reaction from Ito. She thought she had the attack, changed to the push, but was able to keep it short. Left the trouble for Georgina Pota. Here it is from the back of the table to keep it that short. Excellent, delicate touch. Just thinking about the length of rallies so far in this match, they've all been quite short points. That was actually one of the longer points. In table tennis, of course, the quicker you can finish the point, the better it is, assuming you're capable of actually winning the point. Looking to get aggressive wherever possible. But you'll also see a lot of touch shots early on if you can't attack, just to try and save it, deter the attack. So remember 9-4. I mean, it was a very big lead for the Japanese pairing. Could have been even more. At least a 3-point run here for the European pair. This would be very, very important for them to go up 2-0 in a best of 5. Outstanding play from both sides. Ito with her back to the table keeps it in play, and Pota punches it for the winner. Still, Ishikawa almost gets it back. Shot right there from Ekholm with some side spin right down the line. High risk shot under pressure. And the timeout goes to the Japanese pair. Coach Mika Baba will be talking to Mima Ito and Kasumi Ishikawa about what it will take. You know, both players, Ishikawa and Ito, are very capable of hitting winners. Ito's thought of as more dangerous in many ways. Kasumi Ishikawa thought of as a bit more consistent. Ishikawa with those flat hits from the forehand slap shots, the flip kills to the backhand punches to the spin. Ito definitely has fast timing right off the bounce and aggressive shots. Kasumi Ishikawa is very strong at using her opponent's spin, playing angles, taking the ball off the bounce as well. Quick timing, but thought of less for her power. Interesting to see over there in the dark corner as their heads are just above that tall electronic barrier. See a racket that's taken some beating there, just a little bit of edge tape. It's always interesting why some players have edge tape that only covers maybe a few inches, maybe a few centimeters of the racket's edge, and leaves the rest open. Talk to some players about it, and in general, if they feel like they were likely to hit the edge of the racket on the table with a certain shot, say a forehand push, they'll protect that part of the racket, but they don't want to weigh down the racket. Sometimes it's even psychological. Like players who are used to using red on the forehand side versus black on the forehand side. Georgina Pota appears to be the only player using red on the forehand side. Have to imagine she's been doing that ever since she was young. Big point right out of the timeout, wide out to the forehand side. Seems like the experience of 7-time national champion Mika Baba definitely helped. Some wisdom out here now. 2 game points for the Japanese pair to tie it up. shovel serve with underspin is not flipped back by Pota. Game 2 goes to Mima Ito and Kasumi Ishikawa of Japan. We'll be back for Game 3 to see who steps into the lead right after this. Back for game number 3, Georgina Pota trying to keep the blood flowing out here, hopping around. Matilda Ekholm, we'll see do the same from time to time. There we go. Matilda Ekholm has a very different vibe in general. Quite intense at the table, and sort of a leather jacket vibe. Excellent anticipation from Ekholm. That forehand flip for Mima Ito was a strong shot, but Ekholm gets in perfect position to keep it in play. If it comes in that fast, it comes back quite fast as well. Rushing the shot out of Ishikawa. Gomen, sorry. Oh, right down the line. Nice change of placement here from Mima Ito. A little bit higher ball there. Ishikawa's serve earns the opportunity for Ito. Heavy underspin on the Pota backhand serve. She is quite deceptive with those serves. They look simple, a bit more traditional in her style. Not a lot of reverse pendulum or shovel serve, any of the modern trends. Said, using a classic style consistently and playing it well, Georgina Pota can be quite effective. Little fun fact, Georgina Pota recently married, relatively recently anyway, so congratulations to her and her husband. Forehand flip from Ishikawa as well. Mima Ito's not the only one who's got the flip game. And Ekholm brings it back for a flip as well, but it's the backhand counter. And right back into play, 2-point lead for the European pairing. This was a setup that worked well for them. Coming into this game, Matilda Ekholm and Georgina Pota had scored 19 points versus 17 for Mima Ito and Kasumi Ishikawa. More dominant win in game 1. Gotta love that show from Matilda Ekholm. Show. Slow motion trailing show. Little crescendo effect from Matilda Ekholm. She is into the 80s and 90s music a lot. Perfectly placed, Mima Ito right into the body. The crossover point gets Ekholm off balance, trying to cover the middle with the forehand. Even though it's deep on the table from Pota, at that height, Mima Ito knows exactly what to do. She's gonna hit a winner most of the time when she gets that ball. Excellent shot there. Tomahawk forehand chop mid-rally from Ito to recover the net ball. Leaves Ekholm with a lot of spin to try and lift from down low. Really impressed with the placement there from Pota. When's the last time you saw Mima Ito have a body action like that to try and move that far out of the way to play a forehand? That means she was surprised. Still just 2 points between both teams here. This one very much could go either way. Ekholm with a solid backhand, but the ball wide out of the sweet spot for Pota. On the move, she can make the shot, of course, but it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. Just didn't get closed on it enough. Didn't get over the ball as much as she would have liked. Dangerous serve, and it goes that long. Even if you put a lot of rotation on it, as long as your opponent can read it at this level, Mima Ito knows how. Mima Ito knows how to hit through that ball. I mean, we've seen her roll through choppers yesterday, so imagine if she can get through a chop hitting the ball that hard. A serve with that much spin as well is going to have less spin than a chop, a full-on chop. So 2 points against serve for the Japanese pair to tie it up here. And a long kicking serve right at the baseline. Mima Ito goes risky and it pays off. Ito being bold. I've got the ITTF Facebook page open on my computer right now, and they keep seeing highlights of Mima Ito making shots. She's also on screen live right now as you're watching. Ito's World. Nice adjustment from Ekholm. Similar serve. This time she's ready. Racket head up, comes over the ball for the kick bounce. Back of the table. Didn't want to get in too close in case the serve came long. Good anticipation, good thinking from Ekholm. Reverse pendulum with underspin. Fools Ishikawa. And not by a lot, but you have to remember, Ishikawa's job isn't just to make the ball on the table. It's to receive the ball in a way that Georgina Pota can't just hit a winner. Not so easy. There's a good example of it. Nice push, opens the racket up, leaves it on the table, short enough and low enough. Pota's forced into a push herself, a late decision that goes long. This is the setup that favored the European pair, so they really need to focus on taking this game. It was an uphill battle in the other order of play. Now this is the difference in styles. You can see how much farther back behind the table Ekholm was, playing spinny shots, changing the rhythm, and Pota knows she's most dangerous, most effective in near the table. 1 point lead here for the Japanese pair. Ooh, this is a break. Pota, again, from this camera angle, it's tough to tell sometimes. That ball looked a bit higher than I'm sure it was. You can see from here, right, near the back edge of the table. Again, this camera angle gives us perspective. It's not as easy of a shot as it appeared. It was sort of at that in-between point where it's high enough to smash if it's longer, but it's still over the table, which leaves an obstacle for Ito to get a comfortable swing. 9 points each. This game will only be won by a margin of 2 points, and it's the European pair who have the last two serve combination. Oh, the backhand chop. You want to call it a chop block because of the rotation, but when Ekholm's that far behind the table, very unusual ball. Pota fooled up near the table. Just leaves too much time for Ishikawa to pick her spots. So game point to the Japanese pair. And the serve drifts long. Mima Ito takes it. Ekholm clearly frustrated, hitting the side of the table. Knew that she was capable of blocking it. Not an easy ball, but felt responsible. So the Japanese pair goes up 2-1. And the European pair is going to have to fight to get through game 4. Game 4 coming up right after this. Back for game number 4. Georgina Pota with the serve. Matilda Ekholm waiting for the third ball here. This is the combination where they lost the game 2. 11-8. So this was their toughest setup here. Pota serving to Ishikawa. A little frustration there from Ekholm as she catches the top edge of the racket. Excellent hands, Mima Ito in the soft touch. Nice placement. Ekholm leaves it over the table. Again, Mima Ito, not a comfortable shot for that forehand. Looks like she second-guessed herself and said, come in for that backhand punch. Definitely a possible option there that could have been effective. Break off the top of the net for Pota and Ekholm. This is a nice change in pattern from Ekholm. She pushes long into the backhand. A little bit of surprise for Ito, not an easy shot. That's got to be frustrating for Ekholm. A long serve into the left-handed forehand, quite frankly. She turns here, gets the opening forehand, tries to play the short side of the table. But heavy under and side on that pendulum serve from Ishikawa. A lot of fancy signals for the receivers on the racket. Oh, beautiful shot. That's the Mima Ito backhand. You could see her head sort of tilt with satisfaction. So difficult to tell what she's going to do with that open face of the racket. And this time on the forehand side as well. Length of serve, so crucial. If it's clearly short, Mima Ito's solid over the table. If it's a little bit high, if it comes long, she'll get the opening rip. And the timeout on the European pairs side. Zoltan Batorfi will be talking to the players. Legendary coach, an Olympian from 1996. Hungarian coach. Had a chance to talk to Pota briefly. She was like, my coach. Ah, cool. It's interesting. I think they both know that I'm a big fan of Matilda Ekholm's style of play. And that Georgina Pota, we've talked about, she's very successful. Has played at a high level, came quite close to beating Ju Yuling at the Women's World Cup in Sendai, Japan. It was 2015. And again, she's arguably past her peak. 32 years old currently, although in European game, I mean, Matilda Ekholm for me has never been playing better than I've seen her in the last year of her life. So in some senses, maybe the best years for Pota are still ahead. Li Jiao beat Ju Yuling at the Women's World Cup in 2015 when she was 42 years old. Could have been one of the biggest wins of her career by world ranking and everything else. So who knows? It's always interesting to see when players peak for different national associations. If you're a woman playing in Japan around the age of 30, it's usually time to find a transition in your career. Same for the men for that matter. Seiya Kishikawa you don't see as much on the world tour. Nice placement on the push from Pota. So it is now or never for the European pairing. They have to win this game to stay in the match. Oh, that one's gonna sting. That punch so fast from Mima Ito's backhand. Again, when people ask, Miyu Hirano, Mima Ito, not that it's a competition, but who has more potential? I see some shots like this from Mima Ito and think she can really do well. She's able to just keep her percentages high. Every once in a while she goes through a rut where she starts trying to get a bit creative and the percentage of shots goes way down. But that creative instinct I think is a very good thing. It's tougher to learn creativity than consistency. Consistency will come with practice and experience. Big spinny opening forehand shot from Matilda Ekholm to keep the pressure on. Kasumi Ishikawa saying, don't worry about it, no problem. Wow, Ekholm right at the back edge of the table. I mean, that serve, this takes hawk-eye. I mean, to be able, and I don't mean like shot spot, I mean to just incredible vision to understand, and also understanding of a serve, that ball's gonna come off the table. I thought it would have had a second bounce, and Ekholm was gonna be in hot water out here. She was gonna be burned with a second bounce. But Ekholm wins the point. Now this one is clearly long. I mean, from the moment of contact, you know this ball's coming off the table. And Ito gets a good first swing at it. Puts the pressure back on Ekholm. I mean, Poda, that is. Heavy spin shot, Kasumi Ishikawa turns the corner. 2 points away from a title for Ishikawa and Ito. Spinny forehand once again for Kasumi Ishikawa. Matilda Ekholm not thrilled right now. But not just her, both players have had a lot of pressure coming in to deal with. It's easy to blame yourself when you know that you could be playing better. But the quality of shots coming in, quite impressive. Oh, and that's a way to finish it. Champions Mima Ito just crushing the ball. Kasumi Ishikawa and Mima Ito take the title. The 4th seed in the women's doubles event are the #1. They'll be standing on top of the podium later over Georgina Poda and Matilda Ekholm, a very experienced and strong European pairing. Once again, it's that crushing shot, the speed of Mima Ito, and what teamwork from the Japanese pair. They're gonna step forward in the race to Kazakhstan for the World Tour Grand Finals coming up in December later this year. Wouldn't be surprised to see Kasumi Ishikawa and Mima Ito there in the women's doubles. But the same could be said for Georgina Poda and Matilda Ekholm. A lot more to come from these exciting pairs. Stick